Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku. And it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
The Roses were living the dream.
To you, my darling.
No, to you.
Until it all came crashing down.
You got fired.
Fired?
On August 29th, stop.
You stop!
And see The Roses. Rated R. In theaters everywhere, August 29th.
Welcome to the Tour Coach Podcast. I'm Tony Ruggiero here, as I always am, your host. And you're joining in on what we are now having as the Tour Coach Minis. And those are little 10-minute conversations with myself or Jackson Koert, who's going to be hosting some of this. Most of you are all familiar with Jackson, great young teacher, now at Atlantic Beach Country Club. And he spends a lot of time with us. And we've invited Jackson to be part of this. He does such a good job, spends so much time. But these will be 10-minute conversations and musings from around the world of golf, from around our travels, our friends, our players, other coaches, to give you more Tour Coach, more Dew Sweeper content during the week. So you now have got your main Tour Coach podcast coming on Mondays, followed by a mini on Wednesday and a mini on Friday. So you've got all the Dew Sweepers, all the Tour Coach you could ever want. And just like the Dew Sweepers radio show or the Tour Coach podcast, the Tour Coach minis are brought to you by our friends at Shrixon Golf, our friends at Bushnell, Buick, GMC, especially Mitch McConnell and McConnell Automotive. And you can't forget Vineyard Vines that keep us all looking good. So enjoy this episode of the Tour Coach Mini, and we're here with all the golf content you could ever want each and every week.
Sitting here with Alejandro Guillen, and so I think this is an awesome tidbit. So we've been working how long now?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. And you were just talking about how long now is golf feeling simple?
Yeah, I think once we met, it was kind of like all over the place. And as we kind of saw what my pattern was and what I need to work on, we've kind of just kept on working in the same thing for the last year. And obviously good things take time. But now that it's clicking, I don't feel like I'm trying to get any miracles on the course. It's just about keep trying to get that feel, the same feel that I've been saying I get every time that I see you. That sounds kind of romantic.
That's right. But we can dim the lights if we need.
Yeah, turn on the candle. It's just been working on the same stuff. But once that stuff is good, I said earlier, I'm hitting trajectories that I wasn't able to hit before, and it just feels a lot more simple than it used to before, you know?
Because I think often when I work with even amateurs, really, for that matter, that are chops, and you compare that to working with a professional like yourself, you get a good idea of what their motion's like, and you get a picture of what you're trying to get it to look like. And the steps in between, you're just trying to achieve the same goal.
Right.
So that's where, you being an artiste, it's you have this picture frame, right, of what's going on. And then the more we work and stay on target, both of us, I have to stay on target, you have to stay on target. Our goals, you're learning your fitness aspect has to stay on target with it, and how that matches up from your wedge game to your iron game to your driver game.
Right.
And then your drills and your feels can start to become concrete over long periods of time. And that's where I think what you just said about playing golf is becoming simple, is then those feels, when you're trying to bridge the gap from your practice to your play, is not as big of a differential.
Right, yeah. And I think, so also something that has helped me a bunch is, I think we've worked on the same thing, but a lot of times it didn't stick that much, right? So when I come see you, then you put me in that same position and trying to feel it somewhere else in my body, first it was with my hands, then it was a little bit with like my hips, and now it's been like a lot more load, and I feel like stuff in my feet, and that's like how it's stayed with me the longest, you know. So I know, like, if I'm starting to hit a little bit bad, just throw the alignment stick underneath the arches of the feet and start there. But then, like, now I have, if I play bad like 4 or 5 days in a row at home, or that I'm not hitting it that good, like, I feel like I'm finally, something that I never felt like I had before was like I'm leaving breadcrumbs as I like
That's awesome.
kind of get like away from it. So I'm like getting better at learning how to put myself back together, you know. And something that, like, now with all of this and club face being a little bit more stable and doing everything better, this is gonna sound weird, but I almost feel like playing golf has become like, so I think you're tossing a coin, but it's not 50-50, right? Like,
Okay.
the 50-50, it's either dry
We're
or it's
shooting
not.
craps, or what are we doing here?
No, so I think, like, let's say you either hit a good shot or you don't, right? Let's just start there.
Yeah.
So same like a coin, but then every time you do something right, like it can be on the course or off the course, you're increasing your chance of hitting a good shot, you know? So before, where I'm going with all of this is like before, when I would hit like one bad shot, or like say 16 on where I played today, the Valley at TPC Sawgrass was, there's a tree overhanging on the left, and, you know, I hit pretty much only pull fade with driver. So yesterday I did some landscaping to that tree because they pushed the tee box all the way to the left. But like, say the player that I was 6 months ago, I mean, not even saying like 1 year ago, you know, like 6 months ago, today when I get to that same tee box, I would have been like, damn, because they didn't move it. Like, it was still on the left side and trees there. Like, I'm starting to lose the like panic, you know? So it's just like understanding like, well, yeah, I'm going to hit a bad shot every now and then, but I don't need to reinvent the wheel every time I do, you know, like just do everything that I can to increase my odds of hitting a good shot. And then like, don't add unnecessary variables like thinking about that tree or whatever, like just pick a spot in front of me and like see how that relates to the stuff ahead.
It's been touched on before in previous podcasts too. Amelia Lewis, I think, was the first one that had mentioned it to me when we were sitting in a car talking with a couple other players one time. But she talked about how she gains confidence from knowing she's working on the right things.
Right.
Yeah, which I think is what it sounds like to you. Another question. What are Mexican casinos like compared to U.S. casinos?
I've never been to a U.S. casino.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
Cheaper for sure.
So the other part, I think it took us too long to get there, but we're there now. You're working with Aaron at Joey D's, who's mentored under Colby. And that's a massive part of that as well.
Right.
Maybe you being able to feel that stuff in your feet with how you load is a result of you doing the work with your body. So now you can actually load properly and move a little bit better.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's been same goal for everything, but like we were talking about earlier, it's just like everything has to align, like fitness part, mental part, all of it. So I think working with him and just learning a little bit more about my body and how to improve it, because I think you call it open books. I was like barely getting like 90 degrees to the sky, you know? So just working on that. Even my warm-ups have been different. I used to just show up and hit 58 till I felt I could pull another club out of the bag.
And it's important for those two, your fitness and your full swing stuff, to marry, obviously. But paint a picture for what we've worked on, like the motion in which you're trying to maybe adapt to.
So I think, well, obviously, like, do you mean like technical or? Yeah. So I used to get like a ton on the toes and jump a lot, but very early, and then the club face would be open, so I would have to sling it shut with the hands. But now, I mean, club face is better. So that means I need to be more stable with my body so I can just turn back and turn through, right? For me, it's just been, it was game-changing. Like what we did earlier in January was like all those drills and same goes with what I'm doing with Aaron, just doing exercises of like extreme load exercises, like split stance rows, split stance. I don't even know. We just call everything retirement home because my mobility is so bad. So yeah, just push throughs and like learning how to activate those muscles that, let's say, a touring professional was using, but I wasn't. All of that has helped me a lot. And yeah, I think just doing a ton of rotation stuff, anti-rotation, just helped me feel more what we were working on.
And the interesting thing too is when you go from playing at sea level to back home, Mexico City, it's what's the elevation? 7,500?
Yeah, something like that, 75.
Right, so there, my picture and understanding is that some of the open club face and a little bit of like the jump and throw is because you're at high altitude and the ball's not spinning the same, and you need that launch.
Right.
You need that ball getting up in the air so it hangs in the air, and then you can hit it a sonic mile, and also to curve it.
Right, yeah.
And then you're there for a couple months and you come back to sea level and it's a different game.
Right, yeah, so...
And managing those two has been quite the road to navigate.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but I think you've done a great job, at like staying on target, staying between the guardrails, and understanding what you're working on, right? And I think back to what I was talking about with amateurs, like I see where a weak grip, open face, sliced chop is going to go. It's just going to take a little bit of time, and that's where early in the relationship, I think it's on me more than it is the player, because I've got to figure out ways to connect with them and figure out what they need, how they need it, and how they can repeat it on their own, because you're going to do it way more without me.
Right.
And you were the same way. I'm not saying you're a chop because you weren't slicing. You were just jumping and throwing from under the plane. It was wild, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's I'm proud of you for sticking on that. Because just because you get to work doesn't mean you have to work on something different.
Right. Yeah.
Makes golf simple.
It makes golf simple.
And playing under the gun in competition should be even easier, right? Because then you know your tendencies and you get over a shot and you have a situation and you're probably very observant to the start line and the curve based on your feels of that environment that you're put in.
Right.
And then you can tap into those feels more often and execute shots rather than thinking about the other stuff we never want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also...
Mazapans?
If
you haven't had a mazapan, they're phenomenal.
Yeah, we're looking for that De La Rosa sponsorship.
A little peanut butter covered chocolate. Delicious, nice.
So I think, obviously it's been a huge learning curve for me. I didn't know, like, the first thing about equipment or, like, shafts or grips or the effect that any of that has on your swing, and the ball, especially the ball. So, obviously I'm still learning a lot. And then realizing how I need to be hitting it back home for it to be decent at sea level and with wind. Like, it doesn't look that pretty at home, because it means that the ball is like knuckling. But that's when, I'm starting to get a little bit better at gauging, like, okay, I'm gonna be playing a tournament at sea level soon, so if I'm gonna play 3 times a week or 4 times a week, like, I'm not really going out there to try and score the lowest I can on my course. Like, I'm trying to score the lowest I can, knowing what I need to do to play well at sea level,
That's incredible.
And changing balls, which I thought I swore I would never do, but now I realize that it's the easiest way for me.
Makes that transition easier.
Yeah.
All right, Alejandro. Muchas gracias, amigo. Más tequila, por favor.
I just want to remind everybody something that I forgot. Recently, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I went out. We went to a wedding, and afterwards with some friends, we were like, hey, where's a great place to go? I'll be honest, like in my travels and day-to-day, sometimes I get caught up and I forget some of the great places right around the corner. But I got to remind you about the Icebox Bar on 755 Monroe Street. I was blown away by just the whole vibe, the atmosphere, and with the Velvet Pig, the food in the back room, and the big screen TVs up front. We sat there and watched some playoff games. I was blown away by the atmosphere, the vibe, and just how cool it was to have the Icebox Bar right here near the Dew Sweepers downtown, near where I live. You're looking for a great place to go sit, watch some games, hang out, play some pool. You got to go to the Icebox Bar right there on Monroe Street. There's a good chance you'll see all of us hanging out. But do yourself a favor. Go visit the Icebox. It's one of the best places out there. Hi, this is Tony Ruggiero. And look, recently, several teachers I know and several players have had some scares with skin cancer. In fact, I recently went and saw a dermatologist here in town, and I had a couple things frozen off, eyelid, my face, my earlobe, and not getting any younger. And I know it's getting to that time of the season where it's cooler, but look, being in the sun is a real deal, and I've not been very good, to be totally honest, my whole career at using it at all because I didn't like how greasy it was, how hard it was to get off your hands, how it clogged up my pores. And then I found this sunscreen, Visor Skincare. It's clear, it goes on, it doesn't dry you out, it isn't greasy, it's like you didn't put anything on it. By far, it's the best sunscreen I've ever used. Without a doubt, is the easiest to use. And we've got a discount code for all of you. All you have to do is go to visorskincare.com, is use our code word DewSweeper. visorskincare.com, code word DewSweeper.